The Zephyrian High Command had studied 17 different species before humanity. Each had followed the same predictable pattern: initial defiance, gradual realization of technological inferiority, and finally, complete capitulation. The mathematics were simple. Superior firepower plus overwhelming numbers equaled inevitable surrender. Commander Vexthal reviewed the human response transmission for the fourth time, his 6 eyes narrowing in confusion. When the Zephyrian fleet had arrived at the edge of the Sol system and broadcast their standard ultimatum, total surrender, within 72 standard hours or face orbital bombardment, they expected the usual response: fear, desperation, perhaps a futile attempt at negotiation. Instead, Earth had sent back a single message: "We'll send our best." "Analysis confirms only one human vessel approaching our position," reported Navigation Officer Krelthak. "Mass approximately 12,000 tons. No significant weapon signatures detected." Vexthal's mandibles clicked dismissively. One ship against their armada of 800 vessels? The humans were either supremely arrogant or utterly insane. The human ship, designated UES Forge, by its crude markings, docked with the flagship without ceremony. Security scans revealed no weapons of mass destruction, no hidden explosives, no technological surprises. Just humans. 57 of them, to be precise. They marched into the grand reception chamber with synchronized precision that impressed even the battle-hardened Zephyrians. Each human wore identical dark blue uniforms adorned with strange symbols, and carried weapons that seemed almost primitive by galactic standards. Their leader, a female with graying hair and sharp eyes, stepped forward and snapped her heels together. "Colonel Sarah Chen, United Earth Marine Corps, reporting as requested," she announced, her voice echoing in the vast chamber. Vexthal descended from his throne, towering over the humans at nearly 3 meters tall. His crystalline exoskeleton gleamed under the chamber's bioluminescent lighting. "I am Commander Vexthal of the Zephyrian Empire. You have come to surrender your species?" "Negative, sir," Chen replied without flinching. "We've come to graduate." The translator struggled with the word, offering several possibilities. Vexthal's confusion deepened. "Elaborate." Chen gestured to the Marines behind her. "These are the top graduates of our most elite military academy. For their final examination, they've been tasked with a practical exercise." She paused, meeting the alien commander's gaze directly. "Neutralizing your fleet." Laughter erupted from the Zephyrian officers, a sound like grinding metal and breaking glass. Vexthal himself couldn't suppress his amusement. 57 beings against our armada? Your species has clearly lost its collective mind." "Permission to begin the exercise, sir?" Chen asked, completely ignoring the mockery. Still chuckling, Vexthal waved a dismissive claw. "By all means, human, show us this graduation exercise." The Marines moved with fluid precision. In less than 30 seconds, they had taken control of the bridge. Not through violence, though they were clearly capable of it, but through a demonstration of tactical superiority that left the Zephyrians stunned. Lieutenant Marcus Rodriguez had somehow slipped behind the navigation console and was already interfacing with their systems. Sergeant Kim Nakamura had identified and isolated the communication array. Corporal Jackson Williams had mapped every structural weakness in the chamber within moments of entry. But it was Private First Class Elena Volkov who delivered the killing blow. The young woman, barely out of her teens, had been quietly working at a portable device. She looked up with a satisfied smile and nodded to Chen. "Commander," Chen said, her tone now carrying the weight of absolute authority, "your fleet's navigation systems are now under our control. Every ship in your armada will jump to coordinates of our choosing in approximately 10 minutes. I suggest you choose your next words carefully." Vexthal's exoskeleton darkened with rage. "Impossible. Our encryption is based on quantum entanglement principles that were considered cutting edge about 200 years ago," interrupted Private Volkov cheerfully. "We studied your attack on the Keltheran Republic last cycle. Nice work, by the way, but you left enough technological signatures for our xenotech students to reverse engineer your entire computer architecture." The bridge erupted in chaos as Zephyrian officers scrambled to regain control of their systems. Every attempt was met with casual deflection by the Marines, who seemed to anticipate each move before it was made. "How?" Vexthal demanded. Chen smiled, an expression that somehow managed to be both warm and terrifying. "You studied 17 species, Commander, but you made a critical error. You assumed we were like them." She began pacing, her Marines maintaining perfect defensive positions without any apparent communication. "Every species you've encountered evolved on worlds with abundant resources and minimal threats. They developed civilization through cooperation and shared prosperity." She stopped directly in front of the alien commander. "Humanity evolved on a death world. For 3 million years, everything on our planet tried to kill us. The weather, the wildlife, the diseases, even the plants. We didn't develop civilization. Despite being apex predators, we developed it because we were apex predators." Private Chen spoke up from his position at the tactical console. "Commander, we've also taken the liberty of analyzing your fleet's weaknesses. Turns out your shields have a resonance frequency that can be exploited with our standard-issue sonic grenades. Purely theoretical, of course. And your reactor containment system," added Sergeant Nakamura, "has a fatal flaw in its magnetic bottle configuration. One small adjustment to the field harmonics and—" She made an explosive gesture with her hands. Vexthal's confidence crumbled. "What do you want?" "Nothing," Chen replied. "This was never about conquest or resources. This was about education." She gestured to her Marines. "These young people needed to learn how to think strategically, adapt quickly, and work as a team under pressure. Your invasion provided the perfect final examination." The countdown on Volkov's device reached 0. Throughout the Zephyrian fleet, navigation systems activated simultaneously, jumping the entire armada to a predetermined location, directly into the gravity well of Sol's sun. "Don't worry," Chen said as alarms blared throughout the flagship. "Your ships will escape the star's pull with about 30 seconds to spare, but I imagine your crews will need some time to contemplate their life choices." Vexthal stared at the tactical display showing his fleet's predicament, then back at the humans who had orchestrated it with casual efficiency. "Class dismissed," Chen announced to her Marines. "Congratulations on your graduation. Welcome to the real Corps." As the Marines filed out in perfect formation, Chen paused at the chamber entrance. "Oh, Commander? When you file your report, you might want to mention that these were students. Our actual military might find your invasion plans amusing." The UES Forge departed as quietly as it had arrived, leaving the Zephyrian fleet to explain to their high command why their supposedly inevitable conquest had been turned into a classroom exercise by 57 human graduates. In the depths of space, Vexthal finally understood the crucial difference between humans and every other species they had conquered. The others had been civilized. Humans had simply learned to aim their savagery.